wait to see that episode of MLW where he debuts and comes back and rights the wrongs of pro wrestling since his sabbatical.
You just gotta respect the fact that the man's a badass pro wrestler, and probably like a badass medic too. I guess.
With a doctorate, more than likely. I don't know if he's gotten it yet, but that's his goal. So, speaking of goals, let's start this off with the pre-show. I didn't see the pre-show. I didn't realize that they had moved the match to the pre-show, so I didn't bother watching it. I only found out when the show started, so I was like, oh, that sucks. Decay, Havoc, and Rosemary, with Black Taurus and Crazy Steve, defeated Fire and Flava for the tag titles. Apparently, Havoc is now officially part of Decay. I didn't realize that, but that's the thing now, so here we are.
Yeah, man. I actually ended up watching this match before your show because I didn't know about it either. I was like, oh, that's why I didn't remember seeing it. They put it on the show. I'm like, okay, they wanted to take this off the show, but thought we needed to see a certain return of somebody's fiance. Never mind. But I digress. Watched the match, fun little match. Obviously, I'm a huge Fire and Flavor fan. But this has kind of been a long time coming. I feel like if Taya would have stayed, they probably would have got the belts off him sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to see Rosemary with a title again, even if it's with Havoc. Not the biggest fans of Havoc, but she serves a purpose. I'm guessing Nevaeh is gone for good.
Yes.
So they had to do something with it. And if we're being honest, anybody that's watched the entire history of the whole Father Mitchell and Rosemary of it all, Havoc does play a role in that. So bringing them back together, it could have this kind of full circle moment. It does make sense. It's an odd pairing, but an odd pairing that works, kind of like her and Taya. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I'm hoping for more from Decay. I think this is a great group. Rosemary's been with the company since 2016, and I feel like she's really kind of slid into one of the all-time greats in the company.
Yeah.
She's had some good matches. I don't want to take away from that. But she's not Gail Kim. She's not even Trish Stratus. But I think she's better than Lita in the ring. But I don't think too highly of Lita as a wrestler. She's a hell of an athlete, but not a great wrestler. But Rosemary, to me, has always stood out because of her ability to captivate an audience without wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think she really stands out. So definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't even know if she's still dating Andrew Everett.
I didn't even know. Oh, holy Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, a while ago. They were doing their Masters of the Multiverse series with her and Allie. And by the by, how far has Allie fallen?
Oh, man. It's the over there with the Butcher and the Blade.
That was great. Can I hear that one more time?
The Butcher and the Blade.
That's solid.
Thanks. But, it's not good. This was a girl that got over. It's funny we talk about these two people because they both got severely over with gimmicks that shouldn't have worked in the era that it worked in. Like we talk about this all the time. Like she's one of those rare breeds. A la like in AEW, I guess the MJF who stay in character a lot. I think we kind of talked about this kind of dividing that line. How not like I guess Eli Drake had like Shawn Ricker and then he was doing the Eli Drake thing, kind of keeping them separate. But you talked about we got Rosemary and then she does her personal thing separate. To kind of toe that line. It's not easy to do. Specifically, be entertaining and do it. Like she's been doing that storyline. Like Jesus, when we got introduced to that thing, like Bram was a thing in the company heavy. And he was supposed to be taking Abyss's spot, and she's been doing that for that long, and it seemingly gotten better. And Allie was a huge part of that. A part of a gimmick where she eclipsed Maria in the whole thing as a subordinate, and now she's the hot girl in leather standing next to a balding husband that needs to let it go in a tag team that nobody really cares about. So, it's just interesting how people say you move up, but it looks a lot like you going to the basement.
Yeah, and that's kind of the unfortunate thing, especially with Allie. She's so charismatic and so entertaining. But like some others in wrestling, I don't think she's a good worker. So I feel like her role is right next to her husband, I think is a great way, because he's not entertaining at all, but he's a heck of a worker. So like they could do so much together, but they don't I don't know in the last time the Butcher won or the Blade won a match And Ali's never really given any mic time, considering they have to, schedule in a 22-minute Cody Rhodes promo every week. So, like, you know.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we give both credence to their talents, but specifically recognizing where your talent specifically lies. And everybody kind of wants to. I mean, it's good to see an era where so many spouses get to work together. Like you look at Cross and Scarlett, NXT, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But was they severely cut him off at the knees, taking her away from him. That entrance was dull as all hell without her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, God bless them. Like I said, it was a thing, and I mean, they were doing something in Impact, and they got married, and that whole thing. That was a combination of that storyline, but I don't know, man. It's I guess it's different in perception of how we view success versus how they view it. So,
Well, I guess sometimes it's just nice to get paid a lot.
amen.
I have to imagine that they might not exactly be the most satisfied though with their work. That would just be my point of view, my opinion. But who am I? Who am I? We got a pretty great Ultimate X match. Everything Rohit was doing in this match was just fantastic. Josh Alexander obviously won, but I really enjoyed this match. This was great. Petey Williams did
Dude did a what it is?
Three Amigos Canadian Destroyer. That was great. And then he did a Canadian Destroyer off the structure of the Ultimate X. Who did he do it to? Was it Ace Austin? How is he not dead? No, I think it was Bay. How is Bay not dead?
What happened? They were stacked on top of each other like a totem.
Yeah.
And he did like a super, like, oh man, it was just sick. He did that happened. Freaking Trey did his great sliding stop thing he does to the outside of the ring. This is what I'm talking about. Like, nobody does these type of matches better than like an Impact. Because these matches are ripe for being cluster Fs, and they just make them poetry in motion every time.
Yep.
Every time.
You're not wrong, sir. So Alexander retains. We then get the first surprise of the night. It's going to be Matt Cardona and his wife, Chelsea Green, or fiance Chelsea Green, versus Brian Myers and Tenille Dashwood. And I don't care. And, like, the funny thing was, I think Chelsea Green even said, like, she was asked, was it awkward working with Matt and his ex, Tenille? And I'm like, wait, those two actually dated? And she's like, no, it wasn't weird at all. And I was like, how is that not part of the storyline?
I forgot about that until I read that on Wrestle Talk. I was like, oh, he sure did. I'm like, this lucky. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you're not wrong on that. And I guess, I mean, you would have Caleb. That would be a great thing for them to integrate on one of her couch segments.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're going to go there. I mean, because it's only, I mean, the irony is, like, the reason why I think she was even able to wrestle was because where they don't have an athletic commission or something like that, she said?
Yeah. So the whole story goes that Chelsea Green debuted in Ring of Honor the week before Slammiversary, and she wasn't going to be allowed to wrestle because they have an athletic commission. Now, she didn't try to get cleared because Ring of Honor didn't see the point in doing it, so they knew that she wasn't going to get cleared because she had a cast on. But I think it's Nashville they were in, they don't have an athletic commission that oversees pro wrestling. So they didn't have the same type of situations to try to overcome. So she was cleared because they had no one that couldn't clear her, essentially. So, yeah, so she wrestled, and it was awful. I hated it. It was my least favorite part of the whole show. It was just awful. I don't like Chelsea Green. I don't find her entertaining. I don't find her... she's not athletic. She's not very good in the ring. I don't like her characters. She's just everything about her. I just do not give a damn about.
Yeah, just to start a false narrative, she wouldn't give Chad any credit on Twitter either. But I kid. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, man. Like again, it's cool to see. And I'm happy for Zach and all that. And Tennille's a greater worker as she is. She's not my cup of tea. And Caleb is kind of just, always felt like he's been finding his footing one way or another. Although he is entertaining in his spot, I think he could be doing a lot more other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this should have been where the Knockouts tag was. I think that match actually deserved to be on the show. But
I agree completely, but we got to shoehorn in the Chelsea Green. And, like,
Huge.
yeah, the huge return. Like, the thing that I just, like, there's nothing about her that's redeeming to me. Like, I don't find her attractive. It's not that she's ugly, because, like, no one's ugly. I don't ever want anyone to assume that's how I feel. But you're attracted to who you're attracted to. And, like, there's nothing about Chelsea Green as an athlete, as a wrestler, as a personality, or even as an attractive individual that draws me in. So it's like, you're 0 for 4. Why are you on my TV screen? So, it's just one of those things. And it feels like they only brought her back because they needed, one, a surprise, and two, fucking Cardona's there. And talk about someone that I don't want on my fucking TV. Like, you think I don't like Chelsea Green? I fucking don't like fucking Zach Morrison or Ryder Harris or whatever the fucking dumb name is.
That me and Chad just both screaming and all. You, your girl, the other edgehead, his little helper, out!
I would rather watch Braden Walker in 2008
man.
ECW than another Matt Cardona, Chelsea Green, Brian Myers match. No, thank you. My name is Braden Walker. Now I'm going to knock your head off.
Man,
that line.
Man, give me another appearance with the wee nominal one over that. Like.
I just love puns. I'll take that. Morrissey kicked in Eddie Edwards' face.
Yes, he did.
Kind of expected that. It is what it is. It was fine. Morrissey's like solid. Like, I'm not overly impressed with him, but his promo work has improved. I just feel like there's something that he needs to add to his shtick, and I don't know what it is yet. It might need to be like a change of look, but I feel like he needs something to get him over as the guy that they want him to be. Poor Eddie, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the hardest match he's had to date. I guess he got some good shots and offense in on him, but I mean, yeah, I don't know if the outcome was ever in doubt. And like you said, poor Eddie, we just been alone in our little Eddie section since he won that title and had to drop it. But he's still here for you, man. But Chad's gonna be over in the corner holding some weights and a shake. For no other reason than the fact that he wants the best for you. But aesthetically anyway. But
and health wise, it's not like being overweight is a good thing health wise,
Exactly. I mean, it's
20 lbs, man. 20 lbs. Stop drinking.
Stop eating carbs. The risk of life at night going on these damn runs.
So yeah, that's a story we should talk. So what was it? Monday, I went on a night jog. It's been humid at night, not so humid. I decided to cut through a park that I don't normally go to because it's kind of like on the other side of my city. It's not like far from me. My city's very small. But like I've been kind of on a kick of like re-exploring this place, that I've been living all these years. So like, all right, I'm going to cut through this park. And I was like, oh yeah, baseball field. There's no real lights. So I got my phone light on as I'm jogging. This is nice. This is fine. And then all of a sudden a fucking bat flies right at me. I'm like, oh my God. Flying rabies. I drop. Like, I was like, oh no. Then I get up and I'm like flailing my arms like a 12-year-old who doesn't want to get kissed. Like, no, cooties. And then like I sprint into the grass, roll, get up, I run. I'm like, oh, jeez. So the first thing I do is as soon as I'm like near a light and the bat's not coming near me, I text Marcus because got to tell him. I'm like, Marcus, it happened again.
The verbatim Marcus, it happened again. Only this time it was a bat. And I get the text and I'm just looking, wait. I'm like, what the hell? And then I had to go through the roll this. I'm like, it happened again. Only this time it was a bat. And then I'm like, what is he talking? Holy hell. He got attacked by another bird of prey. I'm like, okay.
So yeah, last spring, I want to say, like, right at the start of the pandemic, I got attacked by a falcon, I think is what we decided. It was either a hawk or a falcon. I think it was a falcon. No, it was a hawk. I don't remember. It was one of the two. I was cutting through a church. You bored up there? So I'm cutting through a church after my jog, and I'm walking. And I'm like, oh, cool. I see a bird, a little tiny bird prey, like a hawk or a falcon. This is the smaller of the two. I'm like, oh, that's cool. oh, it's coming down. And then it puts its little claws out. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I drop. Oh my god, that thing tried to fucking take me. Tobias, I'm not an animorph. You cannot have me.
Oh man.
So yeah, a fucking bird of prey, a raptor comes out of nowhere. And now this time it's a goddamn flying marsupial. No, he's not a marsupial. What the fuck's a bat? It's a rodent?
No, according to Val Kilmer, forever, bats aren't rodents, Dr. Murray. But according to Two-Face, a flying night rat.
They are mammals
Oh,
of the order of the Cheropetra. I guess. I think bats are actually really cute, and I was like, they're sweet. I like them, but like, don't eat me because I don't want the rabies. They're the only mammals capable of true and sustained flight. So yeah, look at that. So yeah, I got attacked by a bat.
If I could just pulling some freaking Adam West, but if I could just reach my avian repellent. Oh man,
That's funny. All right, so then we get Finn Juice making their return to beat Madman Fulton and Shira. I like this. I don't give a shit if anyone else didn't. I love Juice Robinson. More juice, all the juice.
I'm right there with you, man. Always.
Some weirdo in the room counting to 10. Why do they not do more Juice Robinson promos? He's so good. I mean, I guess they technically do. Every time after a match, they do one. But
Yes. Yeah, specifically, we want post-match Juice promos because he's geeked up on adrenaline.
I want pre-match Juice promos because he's not exhausted. He's got a clear mind, and he can just go off for 20 minutes saying like, what was it? Oh God, what was that great line? You beat me one, or like you beat me once, or something like that, and or something like who'd I beat? I haven't beaten anyone. You give me a punching chance and I'll beat you, or something like that. It was such a good line, and it was from the Jay White Juice Robinson promo they did from like 2017, 2018. It's just fucking so good. So good. Then we get Sabin versus Moose. I did not see this one coming at all. Sabin wins, what was it, a roll-up?
Yeah, man. He escaped the the wrestling god.
I like that they gave Sabin the win. I'm a Sabin fan. He's named after a Final Fantasy character. Love that. It's just one of those things where like Sabin, I feel, has always deserved more than he's gotten. And he is 39, so he's not exactly young, but he's not exactly old either because he's missed some time. He doesn't always wrestle a lot, so he's got quite a bit of ability to kind of, go longer than this. So I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ultimately, I hope this is the continued build to Moose eventually becoming champion. I'm glad he re-signed. Because I mean, with everything that's been going on with his whole narrative, he can't take any losses in his mind on the way to getting that strap.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be a thing until Moose no longer wants it to be a thing. And I love you're saving something to do. And obviously, the world title has a lot of question marks around it right now. So I'm digging. I didn't expect it, but I think I was actually hoping that happened in the Edwards match, but we got it here.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, that gives the Moose something to do on the way to, I guess, Bound for Glory. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, it was another good thing, another monster. Like I said, he beat him. He won, but he didn't beat him. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't some type of jobbing out on Moose's part. Like they made Moose look strong the entire match. So very happy with how that worked out. Not so happy about the next match. Yeah. This was dumb. Violent by Design took on Swan and Mac, Valaba, and No Way, as in No Way Jose, and the Good Brothers. I don't know why they brought in No Way Jose. He's got charisma out the wazoo. I cannot deny that. I just I don't get. I know I don't get. I don't get it. Like what are you doing? What are you doing? We'll see what he can do. Like I've been really impressed with some of the guys they brought in. It's like I'm not gonna sit here and dismiss no way at the moment, but it's just like damn man, just damn. Marcus, thoughts on No Way Jose?
Yeah, I mean, he replaced. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about not seeing TJP, but too much. But yeah, didn't see him coming. Wasn't exactly jumping out my chair when I saw him. I've never really had anything against him. I always felt like put in the proper position, he could do more. But I don't know if he kind of wants to. Seems like he's kind of happy doing, I guess, a slightly more toned down version of the gimmick we saw him in WWE with. So it is what it is. It's not. I guess couldn't have replaced TJ with Suicide, considering he just had got obliterated by Cutler, not Cutler. Who's the new guy?
Macklin.
Steven Macklin. There it is. Thank you, Macklin. So, and that's probably like the most uninteresting version of Suicide we've had. Like we said, we like the new aesthetic, but that's not. He's kind of just doing Suicide-ish stuff.
Yeah.
So it was fine. But to me, like I said, the win, I'm like, dude, just let Violent by Design, who have been really great, retain, or put it on Mac and Swan. Because I don't know what would have been more awkward. Like, because at least Luke and what you call it have credibility in the fact that it makes it even more intentional now that they take down this whole callous faction.
Mm-hmm.
But if they put it on Ba and then Jose, I might have even been scratching my head even more because I'm like, did y'all really just give Ba something because he brought in a new talent who nobody really cared about? So I guess it could have been worse, but my two options were different. So
Granted. So yeah, Good Brothers win. No one's happy. That's about it. For the sake of just some point of view, the Violent by Design crew have held the belts once for 61 days. Finn Juice were champions for 65 days. The Good Brothers were champions for 119 days. The North were champions for 21 days. The Machine Guns were champions for 97 days. And then the North were champions for 380 days. So, yeah, the tag team division's kind of fallen off since the North won. I would like to see that not be the thing anymore. I forgot that Andrew Everett and DJZ won the tag team titles.
I can't even remember that as a thing.
So LAX lost the belts at Redemption 2018 to Eli Drake and Scott Steiner, which was fantastic. Then Z and E, Everett and DJZ won the belts. Then LAX won it and held the belts for 361 days. Then the Lucha Brothers for 106 days. Then LAX for another 68. Then the North for 380. So that was 2 years you had 3 teams win the belts.
Let's get back to that.
I would love that. Because now, since July of last year when the Machine Guns won it, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new teams holding the belts. So, not great. Not great at all. Then Perazzo defeated Thunder Rosa. Surprise debut for her. Love that. Solid match. Thunder Rosa definitely wrestled some rings around Deanna, but Deanna held her own for the most part, so that was good. Post-match, though, after Perazzo gets the win with the pinfall, we get Mickie James comes out. Hardcore nothing. Bam. She's got no gimmick, man. No personality. Like, oh, it's Mickie James. Her whole gimmick is being Mickie James. Like, that's it. I'm like, all right. That's cool, I guess. I don't dislike Mickie. Mickey's great. Hell of an in-ring worker. But like I said last week, ever since she was done doing that whole crazy soccer gimmick, she hasn't really been interesting. And, like, that's the greatest sin you can be as a pro wrestler. Disinteresting. So, that's not good. But basically, we get the confirmation that NWA is going to be working with Impact for their Empowered event. Spoiler, Deanna will be at the event. We don't know in what capacity or how she'll be used, but yes, she'll be there, even though she told Mickie she won't be. Marcus, how excited were you to see Mickie James?
Mid level. In mid level. I mean, I like the concept of. I mean, I just love the concept of these companies working together because that's what they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, New time for animosity and all that. Just think it's time to throw that stuff out the window. Everybody wants to work. Everybody wants to do good work, and certainly everybody wants to do good work on TV. But in terms of Mickey James, I'm kind of right there with you. She hasn't been really interesting to me for a very long time, and it's nothing personal. It's just what it is. You know, she didn't really do. I mean, I don't know why she came back to WWE other than the potential financial stability, but other than that, the run was ultimately nothing. So I am mildly excited to potentially see her get some redemption in the form of having a better showing in the ring than the last one she had. Maybe I'm kind of overextending my mark there because maybe that was the best she could give. Hopefully not. But it is cool to see some of these veterans come out and trying to take down Perazzo because she does have lineage in the company with that title. So that was cool. And like I said, just the concept of inviting women, which ultimately, like you said, was the whole concept of her inviting women to come to the Empower event. So it was cool in that form. But I'm way past the hardcore country thing. And literally, for me as a longtime fan of Impact, it literally got railroaded years ago.
Uh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm looking forward to the Empire event. I don't know if I'm going to watch it when it airs or if just after, or maybe I'll do it live. I don't know, but it could be interesting. And it definitely feels like Mickey's doing this kind of as a retaliation for the all women's pay per view that the WWE did a few years back. What was that called?
Revolution.
Evolution, I think is what it was. Wasn't it Evolution?
Evolution, yeah, evolution.
So yeah, we'll see. I have zero hope. Zero hope. Well, zero hope that the WWE would actually ever do one of those again and do it well. For the Empowered event, I actually have a little hope. I'm starting to see some of the spoilers for the Impact and kind of building up to it, and I think it could be interesting. So we'll see. Main event: Kenny Omega defeated Sami Callihan, and we were both wrong. And I don't know what to do with my life now. Where do we go from here? I think this goes back to the idea of us thinking that this is going to end up being Moose eventually. Do you still feel that way, or do you think we could be getting to someone else?
At this point, I don't know. They threw a hell of a monkey wrench in here. I didn't. I was thinking. I'm like, do you personally feel like they kind of overbooked this thing?
No, but I could see why someone would think so, especially with the unnecessary Good Brothers show up, and then who was it, Eddie and Saban show up. Like that was kind of like, all right, but like it didn't really play into the ending at all. Yeah. Although I know now that I'm thinking about it, they did do a lot with Callis. Mm-hmm. So like I guess I could see that. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that they overdid it with Callis, but it definitely felt unnecessary.
Yeah.
So I could see it if that's how you felt. Then yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it was still a hell of a match, but it did get to a point where I was like, okay, we went through all that with the ref bump and the thing. Cause that's also a thing for me now. Like, if you see the ref go down, the minute you hit your finisher, before you even do that, just try to wake him up. You know what that means when you see the ref go down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that. But again, that's the dramedy of it all. Yeah, it's also a thing now too where in these Omega matches, when he gets kind of know what it is at that point, unless it's something like New Japan where somebody like I'm about to say Sonata, that would be wishful thinking. Okada can take like 6 back-to-back V-triggers and somehow find a way to get like 2 back-to-back Rainmakers and come out with a victory. They're not gonna do that over here in America. You know what I'm saying? So, by the time you got to that third V-trigger, you kind of knew what it was. But yeah, I mean, now I don't really know where it goes. I just know for me, it can only go to 2 places in terms of Impact talent. I don't know what they're gonna do with a certain person that you're gonna get off into who made an appearance, but To me, it's Callahan or Moose, but if Callahan's off the board and Moose has something in him, all I know is this don't need to go past Bound for Glory. But in our minds, we could be wrong again because we said it couldn't go past this show. So
Well, I did suggest that it was probably going to go to Bound for Glory, but we both kind of thought that they were doing enough with Sammy to move the belt onto him. So we did both pick Sammy, but I'm not surprised it's still going to Bound for Glory. So yeah, post match we get Jay White shows up. He makes the night a little bit better, and that's pretty cool. And they're like, "Hey, let's join the Bullet Club." And Jay's like, "Bitch, please. Do I look like AJ Styles? I don't think so. I don't exclude people from the community." So the one thing I want to point out is that it's not just Jay White on the docket. I think that you still have Eddie, who was supposed to have a match with him, I think, but I think couldn't show up for it, and then they had to rebook it or reschedule the whole thing. And then you still have Sabin, who I think they're going to be interested in using going forward as well. I don't think him getting a win over Moose was an accident. So I think, well, I mean, obviously it wasn't an accident because it's fucking scripted, obviously. But I think like we can still see a lot more going with these guys, with Sabin. So I'm curious to see where they end up going with Sabin and Edwards and Omega for the belt. I certainly don't want to think that they're only going to do Moose because if that's the goal, I feel like it's been telegraphed, kind of, and it takes away some of the unpredictability. Not that Moose would be a bad champion, but you kind of want to not know sometimes, you know? So if they were to do like Sabin's the one who beats Omega and then they do Sabin Moose at Bound for Glory, I think that would be cool as shit. And then you can have Moose take the belt back and maybe Sabin has a good run from July to October or November. You know, that'd be cool. But, you know, who knows if that's what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with anything. They are talking about doing another show. I forget what it's called. It's not the Homecoming. It's their next Impact Plus. Yeah. I think it's going to be like a 6-man tag main event, though. So.
Yeah, that's cool. It's just funny because I got so wrapped up in the consistency of it. I'm sitting up there like, I'm looking at AEW. I'm like, damn, Omega grew that beard fast. And then it's like, damn it, dumbass, it's taped. So I'm now can get to see him with the whole new Triple H crap thing he got going on with the beard and everything. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, definitely, trust what you're saying about the tapings. I don't usually read ahead, so I stopped. The era of Impact is good enough where I don't read spoilers because I'm like, watch a full show of this. The freaking Dixie roll, freaking crawling behind Hulk, but
oh God,
the infamous clip. But no, I'm looking forward to see like they shook it up. A lot of people who wouldn't have been talking about Impact at all had a lot to say that night. So that's the point.
Yeah, the point is to generate buzz, and even if you're not a fan of Jay White, I can guarantee you're interested. I can guarantee you. So, overall thoughts on the show itself?
I dug the show. Didn't like everything certainly, but I dug the show. They started it with a bang and they ended it with a bang. I'll say that. So.
That's fair. Give me a grade.
I'm going to give this a C+.
I'll give it a B. It definitely did have its flaws, and certainly no one wanted, well, I shouldn't say no one, but most of us didn't want to see a return of Chelsea Green. No Way was an interesting choice, but hey, we didn't have to deal with TJP and his, hey, no, it's cool kind of mentality. He said some dumb shit, so just what it is. But yeah, I'd give it a B. So, yeah, that's it. That's all we got for tonight's show. Making an Impact, realnerdcorp.com, REALNERD.com. That's NERD on Twitter. It's actually just NERDCORP on Twitter. There we go. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Well, Marcus, you're on Twitter at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
It's the kid.
You can also find me on. You can also find him. God, this has been a long show. What? You can also find him on his other podcast, True Penny Show, TruePennyShow. I'm on Twitter, Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdcorp, and on Instagram, Chad's photo at RealNerdcorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. One more time. For Mark Screen, I'm Chad Porter. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. And as always, remember to watch more wrestling. Marcus, take us home.
Good night, me.